Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and good night, wherever you're watching me from. My name is Dr. Obioramba Iboweze, reaching you from Nkolo Mahadum, Wisdom University. At Nkolo Mahadum, we package lectures from African and Biafran perspective for you, so that you can see things from the right angle and stop paying unnecessary attention to things that doesn't matter. Thank you for joining me. Today's date is Avo. In the 5th month of the lunar calendar called Onwa Awu. Today's date is Avo Market Day. In the 5th month of lunar calendar called Onwa Awu. In the Roman Catholic calendar, today's date is June 13th, 2024. Thank you for joining me today in continuation of our education series. In the last 2 lectures, we told, actually about three lectures, we told you how humans came to this world. We also told you how the role of human beings in this world. And also, we told you that oxygen, which we use to stay alive, the oxygen that keeps us alive, is produced by plants and trees. And why we human beings, after using the oxygen, exhale carbon dioxide, which the plants and trees are using. In today's lecture, we want to go into detail what happens when we human beings die. Because often, we do not pay attention to what happens when we die. We only pay attention, in most cases, what we talk about is where we go and where we don't go. And in this lecture also, in Nkolo Mahadum, we'll be telling you where we go after we die. Before we continue, please, I'll be begging you again to please subscribe to our YouTube channel. Follow us on Facebook, Twitter, like our programs, comment so that we know how we are doing. Also, share our programs. Share it to your friends and well-wishers. Most importantly, also go back to our previous lectures so that you can learn, you can understand what we are trying for you to know. So you can catch up with other lectures we have given in the past that are very, 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 very good, that will open your eyes to understand the world we live in. Share our programs to your children. Refer our children to our page so that they can learn and understand exactly what is going on in this world, and from Biafran an African perspective. So in trying to explain to us what happens to humans when we die, like we have explained before, once we stop breathing in oxygen, our body will lose consciousness. And when we lose consciousness, we are just as laying down there as nothing. Once we stop breathing, we can no longer function. We don't know what is happening again. We are lifeless, just like every other animal, like a dog or goat that is dead. We just die like every other animal. We are not in death. We are not different from any other animal. The only thing that makes our death somehow is that because of our thinking faculty, because we think, like we have said earlier in many lectures, because we have the ability to reason. The only difference that separates human death from the death of other animals, like goat or dog or any animal, is that humans bury the dead under the ground. That's the only major difference. If not, if you leave a dead human on the surface of the earth and a dead dog on the surface of the earth, the same thing that is happening to the dog will also be happening to the human being. So in death, physically, we and other animals are the same. So let's go straight to some stages of decomposition. When we die, it has about 5 stages. Human body undergoes about 5 stages. The first stage is called the fresh stage. In the fresh stage, our heart stops breathing. It stops beating, which means we no longer inhale oxygen. And the body is deprived of oxygen. And then as soon as that happens, we have what they call pH changes. You know that the pH is what they use to measure the acidity and basicity and base, acid and base, you know. So the pH changes. You know that the pH of the body, the pH ranges from 0 to 14. And the human body temperature performs better under the pH of 7.35 to 7.45. But not all our body are kept in that pH range, because the acid at the stomach, acid in the stomach has more acid, which range between 1.35 to 3.5 range. And so the pH will change. Something that goes on immediately also is what they call autolysis. Autolysis is that our body will start to produce the enzyme to decay our body. As the body is decaying within this first fresh stage, remember this fresh stage occurs between the first 1 to 2 days, in the first 48 hours after we no longer breathe oxygen. That's what they call liver motis. Liver motis means the process of blood pulling to one side. Depending on the side that person, the dead body, is lying, the blood will flow to that side. And it happens between 30 minutes to 12 hours after we are no longer alive. The second thing that happens in the first stage is rigor mortis. Rigor mortis is our body stiffens. Our body becomes stiff. And then this happens around between 0 and 12 hours. The next thing that happens in stage 1, which is in 48 hours, is reduction of body temperature. And the reduction of body temperature also occurs within 24 hours. As you can see, you see a lot of things going on. Immediately, we stop breathing. The second stage is called the bloated stage, which takes place between the second day and the 6th day after we die. It's called the bloated stage because at that time, a lot of gas is produced in our body. And that gas leads to the bloating of the abdomen, the tongues. You see swelling in the eyes. The skin also starts to change color, and small odor starts to occur. That is stage 2, the bloated stage. The third stage is the decay stage. The decay stage occurs between day 5 and day 11. In the third stage, that inflated body in stage 2 now deflates. The gases are released from our body, and our body appears wet. And now odor becomes excess. You can now hear the odor of a human being rotting, smelling, That happens in stage 3. Then in stage 4, which is called post-decay, happens between the 10th day and the 24th day of decomposition. In stage 4, the decomposition slows down a little bit. It slows down a little bit because now the body is being separated from the skeleton. That is, the flesh is now being separated from the skeleton. Odor also lessens at this stage 4. Then the last stage is the dry stage. The dry stage occurs between the 24th day and above days or more days. The bones become, in that stage, you see the bones, you see dry skin, you see the cartilage, and no odor is in the 5th stage. There are so many factors that affect decomposition, how our body decomposes. There are many factors that affect this. Some of the factors include the body size. How big is the dead person? Whether the person after he died was wrapped up in a cloth. That's why when sometimes you see people wrapped up when they die, is because it's to prevent immediate decomposition. The environment also plays a role. The soil, the flora, fauna, insects, whether the person is eaten by insects, and artificial preservation, whether you applied any embalmment or any other artificial preservative to the body. Those are the factors that affects how we decompose. Before we continue, we have to beg you again to please subscribe to our YouTube channel, like our program, comment, follow us on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, and share our program. Go to the past lectures that we have presented and be a part of this Mahadum. Be a part of this Wisdom University. It is for your own good. It is for the good of your family. It is for the good of Biafrans. It's for the good of Africans. And finally, in running down the decomposition process, after the body have the flesh have separated from the skeleton. The skeleton sometimes also decompose depending on the environment. Some skeletons decompose between 0 and 20 years. Some of those turn into fossil. Some of those, depending on the environment where the skeleton is. And so this tells you that human beings, as we are in this world, we are basically almost nothing at death. We are almost like nothing at death. If we can die and all these things are happening to us and we don't know that it's happening to us, and we can never come back to this world in the same form that we left it. So what does that teach us? What does that tell you? We should be humble and humble to ourselves as we are living in this world. Because at the end of the day, we must all die one by one. And this decay process that I have just explained here will happen to all of us. Yes, we may claim that we are this when we are alive, we are this when we are alive, but at the end of the day, you cannot live forever. One cannot live forever. Oftentimes, we concentrate on where we go after we die. Yes, but we don't talk about the fact that we go through this decaying process and can never be seen again in this flesh, the flesh that you came into this world with. You can never be seen in that flesh again. And now, the last thing before we end is where we go after we die. The spirit, where does the spirit go? Because that is the one that most people are paying attention to. Where does the spirit go when we die? Some people say the spirit goes to heaven, to somewhere up the sky. And in Kolom Hadum, I have explained to you that there's no life. There's no spiritual life. There's no oxygen. It's oxygen that sustains life. Up there to sustain any living thing, whether spirit or human, and on top, above the sky, above the space, there is none. Our ancestors told us that when we die, our spirit remain in this world to reincarnate, to come back. That is the one Nkolo Mahadum believes in. That is the one you should believe in. That is the practicality that you should follow. Do not follow the one that tells you that you're going to go to somewhere above the space where there's no life. Plus, I have experienced spirits myself living on this earth. I have had them talking. I have had them fetching water. I've had them bathing. And so, when we die, our spirits continue to live on this earth, on this ground that we all are living, until they will come back to life in spiritual form. They will spiritually come back to life, not in the physical that has already decomposed, but in spirituality. And in future, Nkolo Mahadum will be doing a lecture to explain to you that human beings are born with their spirits. You come into this world with your spirit. Nature gave you the spirit that you used to come into this world. Nkolo Mahadum will be doing a separate lecture on that. So stay tuned when that lecture will be delivered. And like we have stated at this Nkolo Mahadum, that we should be keeping things short so that you will listen to it, reason, and take action. understand your environment, understand the truth. It's only when we can reason that we can make the necessary changes that is required for us to succeed in this world. You don't believe everything somebody is telling you? Practicality and reality is the way for Africans to save themselves from mental manipulations, mental slavery, and mental brainwashing. Nkola Mahadum is here to make you think right, to make you see things the right way. And before we continue, we beg you once more, please subscribe to our YouTube channel, like our program, share it, comment, follow us on Facebook. We need more followers on Facebook, please, so that anytime we do a new lecture, you will be the first to get it. Plus, you can access our previous lectures, and you will agree with us that Nkola Mahadum is right. And with this, we shall be bringing today's lecture to an end. But before we do, we must beg you again to support Eastern Security Network. Eastern Security Network is the only security outfit that are in the bushes, driving away the Fulani herdsmen terrorists from our farms, our bushes, and forests, so that our people can go to the farm. We need the food so that we can eat and be alive for tomorrow. A lot of people in our land are dying of hunger. Support them. And again, thank you for participating in this lecture. If you missed this lecture, try to go and watch it. And the lectures we shall be presenting on Saturday and Sunday about the issue that happened in Aba and the NLC, Nigerian Labour Congress negotiation, and the Memorial Day, is that Democracy Day they celebrated yesterday. That will be we shall tell you how we see it this coming weekend. So stay tuned. More is coming. Thank you for watching and have a great day. Again, my name is Obiora Mba Iboweze. Thank you very much. Have a good one.